There have been alternative housing arrangements launched for artists and the super rich. They have discovered that it is fancier outside as they have brought their million-dollar lifestyles to the floating homes. You are watching Luxury Peak, and in today's video we are going to take a look at 10 expensive floating homes around the world. So let's get started and speed up the details. The Anthenea Floating Suite. The Anthenea Floating Suite is available for $535,000. Designed by naval architect Jonah. Over a period of 15 years, this floating home lifestyle unit contains everything you need to live peacefully. It includes a saucer-shaped floating dome and system that soothes out the waves to mitigate seasickness. While some floating homes have to be anchored in order to float, this one can sail off any location as long as there is water surrounding it. The 5-star floating home comes equipped with 6 solar panels, a battery backup system, 3 living areas, a private sewer system, and windows, all around the perimeter, above and below the water, depending on whether you are bored and want to enjoy the water. The top opens up to a wide deck that can accommodate 12 people to enjoy the view. This company offers them alongside permanent residents as well as the meeting rooms, hotels, and housing for tourist attractions. Seattle Floating Homes. Even though floating communities exist in just about any area with a coastline and the right marinas, there are only a few places that have really made living the floating life an entirely different way of living and have attracted big money buyers keen to simplify life. Among them is Seattle, which is full of coastlines and waterfront homes, like the floating houses on Lake Union that are priced at $4.35 million. During the nice weather, you can take your meals outside the deck, looking out over the water at the nearby hills and Seattle itself. The kitchen is open to the living rooms, which has a fireplace and a deck that extends into it. You will find a rooftop deck if the view from the corner deck isn't enough. And if the weather isn't cooperating, there is a home theater or a sauna-style bathroom to make it all better. Arcup. A floating home at the price of $535,000. Sounds like a great idea, but were you worried that it would cost too low? Arcup has you covered. For a cool $4.5 million, they have created a magnificent waterbound house that you can move when your surroundings get a little monotonous. The 75-foot live boat has 2 floors totaling 4,350 square feet, instead of the sophisticated stabilizing system used on the Anthenea. The R-shape has 4 piers that can extend it up to 20 feet to the seabed in order to stabilize or lift the house out of the water. With the deck extended, you can enjoy the views. The kitchen and the living areas on the bottom floor have water views, while the 4 bedrooms on the upper deck all have their bathrooms. Mission Creek, San Francisco. A popular floating home community in the San Francisco Bay Area is Sausalito, which began as an artist collective before being overtaken by fancier, more expensive properties. A floating community, even more exclusive, exists on the peninsula itself, in the shadow of Oracle Arena. Not so much because of the price, as because the owner of the 20 houses in the channel rarely put their houses on the market. One of the houses was listed on the public market for $1.8 million, and the listing itself made headlines at that time. Comparing it to its neighbors, the present building looks more modern. There are 3 living areas with a sawtooth ceiling, a kitchen, social space, and dining area with a built-in window seat and open staircase that allows a light to reach the bottom floor, which is below the waterline, whereas the living and kitchen areas are on the top floor, which protects the front entrance from water. Union Lake Home. There is no doubt location is the key, but when a boat can move your house to wherever you want it to be, that's even better. Like this East Las June, a lake spot near Seattle sold for $3.75 million. with its well-designed exterior and 3 rooms with a deck that resembles a crow's nest of the main room. This house is particularly scenic. It has carved wood throughout and the interior is stylish. Its 3/4 baths are remarkable as well. There is only one color you are surrounded by when you are doing anything. The most important accommodation is not on the inside, but on the outside. Outside the living room, a large door leads to the deck in front of the piers with a view of the water. To enjoy the view of Seattle, including the iconic Space Needle. Each room has its own window facing the view for guests to enjoy. So Salito Floating Homes. You might not understand why a rustic cabin built on a tugboat would have more to it than that for most floating homes. But it is only the beginning. Since you are not buying real estate, you have to negotiate slip fees for parking it. The sale from 2016 was primarily for a dock with 6 slips and a cabin along with a 2-bedroom boat at the end of the day. Income from the slips and the renting the cabin should become around $100,000 with operating expenses of $44,000. To make the asking price back, it would only take 50 years. Ocean floor Maldives. There are several floating homes up and down the coastline, but land plays a significant role and the sea is just the thing you are sitting on. But if you want a place that's more sea than land, you should look into the Maldives and the 5 lagoon projects. As the Maldives are mostly at sea level or near it, the Maldives have more ocean than they know what to do with their abundance of wetland. Located on the famous North Main Atoll, the city of the ocean floor was designed by Dutch firm Stocklands and Water Studio, which serves as a capital and international airport. Docks that resemble Moldovan flowers are offered by Water Studios in 5 different levels, with the most expensive going for $2.2 million. That is so expensive. This amount of money could buy you a 4-bedroom house with an open floor plan and plenty of windows for soaking in the views. One of the best features of the house is the main bedroom on the roof with its own sun deck, which you can push the bed out on if you want to sleep under the stars. Floating Seahorse. In addition to the regular mainland accommodation, Dubai offers the world a set of islands built like continents in the middle of Europe, and where the first floating seahorse house sold for $2.5 million. A company founded by Clan Dean believes that they can do better, so they are working on a unique version of their 12 million floating seahorse that features 4 bedrooms as well as a common space with sleeping quarters that can be converted for sleepovers as required. Across 2 levels, you will find every amenity you would expect. Under the waterline, a huge window in the master bedroom and secondary bedroom opens out to an artificial reef that serves as a seahorse sanctuary. Storyline: A broad cruise condos. If you believe that variety is the spice of life, there are many cities that allows floating homes. Not only on the west coast of the United States but also in London, Amsterdam and Dubai. While floating homes are by definition floating, they are mostly stationary constructions that require you to take advantage of your surrounding Seattle environment. In an entirely new way, there are 2 new ventures that will experiment with living on the water full time. Cruise ships condos the world sail in at 622 feet long with 152 residential accommodations unlike traditional cruises. People live fully aboard the ships at ports around the world, and because it's not on a schedule, it will stay in port longer than a traditional cruise, giving residents more time to explore before shipping off to the next. A 741-foot boat with 18 decks, a marina for personal watercraft and a helipad are on board. And there are also 18 bars and a microbrewery. 3 swimming pools are also on board for resident cruises, along with a 5,400 square feet garden and a 10,000 book library. Luxury cabins range in price from $297,000 to $8 million. So Salito Taj Mahal. A floating home community where river boats and Pullman railroad cars are all used as homes. May seem like a difficult place to stand out, but something like the Taj Mahal towers over the Sausalito floating home community. The replica Taj Mahal becomes a tourist attraction after Bill Harlan, a developer, visited the original and decided to create one. The replica Taj Mahal is a replica of the actual Taj Mahal in India. This floating world comes with a wine cellar, a solarium, and a sauna. The elevated structure was built without an underground conversation pit in 1975 and cost a reported $10 million. The rumor was that Harlan sold the palace for $850,000, but it turned out he kept it until 2007 and lived in it as a display of his individuality and free spirit. If you are okay with the incremental changes, you could live in a floating home to demonstrate your free spirit. That's it for today's video of 10 expensive floating homes around the world. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more luxury videos like this. And don't forget to watch another luxury video right here.